I'm Naomi. I made a short film for London Film School called After a Room. So for me, After a Room is a film that explores intimacy, hopefully outside the usual context of or spheres of sexual pleasure and romantic pursuit. I tried really to present bodies and relationships the way that kids or old people have them. Um, yeah, a more innocent or playful, curious, like gaze on the bodies and intimacy. So I think I had gotten to a point in my life where I was quite frustrated with how I felt like intimacy. I was only exposed to intimacy in the context of sexual pleasure or romantic love, and I felt like I had a few experiences in my early 20s where intimacy had much more to do with like immediate connection or understanding or yeah, feeling understood, even like for a moment, not needing that for that to extend into a indefinite future. And I felt like that kind of intimacy for me was much more exciting and much more awakening. And I didn't want to do a film that said that this kind of intimacy is better than the one that I had been exposed to growing up in films and through my parents and through my friends. But I wanted to do a film that gave that option. So I wanted to do a film in which two people, well, especially one person, but there's more than one person, experience a intimate night where she understands herself better, and it doesn't matter whether those two people are together or not the next day, and the intimacy doesn't have anything to do with sexual pleasure either. So that's what the film was rooted in. But then to actually make that happen, yeah, it took a long time. I did try and prepare for it. I did do another short film beforehand with myself in it. It's a short film that never really saw the light of day because it's really messy, but I learned a lot. I think I tried to approach it much more as an artist than actor. Like a lot of the filmmakers that I looked up to at the time, like Chantal Akerman or Carolee Schneemann, Marina Abramovic, were really using their bodies as art forms more than acting, right? I really didn't try and act. I think the challenge was much more like worrying about everything on set and then having to jump in front of the camera to just be present. And my focus was just be present and react to the other people in the scene and forget about what's happening behind the camera for that moment. And I'm a musician also, so I perform. So I actually really enjoyed it. I definitely won't do it for most of my films, but it was really a great experience. I try not to have diegetic music in my films at the moment. So the song in there, but then that use of the music with the hand, like when he's washing, that came much later. That came in the editing process, and that music seemed like a good through line, a good way to do it. I wanted a song that was in between, like Françoise Hardy, Tous les garçons, and Quelqu'un qui m'a dit by, I forget her name. But I wanted a song between those two. So because that song didn't exist, I just had to write it. But then I think writing it actually brings the whole film much closer since I'm already such a presence in the film. I think that the music coming directly from me added some kind of gel. Um, I really like the mix of people in the film school because like it's a film school based in London, but I think about 10% are from of the students are from the UK. So there was out of 35 in my class, there was only one British person. So for me, my closest collaboration in film school came with a Filipino person who had just moved from the Philippines, who's in the film. I would have never met him if the school was more local, less diverse. I don't like, they put us in competition at the school, so we have to pitch to each other to see who directs. And sometimes I felt like I succeeded in spite of instead of thanks to in the school. Like I really felt like I had to fight. Like it was hard. But maybe that's also why I came out with something so personal, because I had to fight for it. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I work in a production company right now, so I think I'm learning that cinema really is like, sometimes I feel like I'm in a different industry to other people that are in the cinema industry. But for me, it's really art, you know, like what is the form and how can we reinvent the form? And how can we reinvent the form to speak to how society or the world is shaped today? For me, that's what really excites me. And coming from a writing and art and music background, I guess that's very similar to all the other arts. That's why, yeah, for me, art.